What's up, guys? So today in this video I'm going to be talking about charts, graphs, all of that in the Airtable App Store, the Airtable Marketplace. So if you're interested in that, stick around. But if you haven't met me before, my name is Ben Green. I'm the owner of optimizeis, and what we do is we help business owners probably just like you, help them optimize their information systems and stuff like Airtable for asset management and CRM, Asana for project management, and Slack for CRM, and as well as Zapier to really connect all the systems together really fast, easily, and efficiently. So if you're interested in that, you can check out the link in the description and request a consultation from me or someone on my team. But without further ado, we'll get right in the video now. So as you can see, we are in our Airtable sales CRM, as we often are on this channel. And over here on the right, I just have a simple, very simple two apps over here open. And I have just this one dashboard. And I'm not going to walk you through building a whole dashboard for everything in your business, but really we're going to be going through some of the different charts, the graphs that you can implement in your business to give yourself some better dashboards to make better decisions, do some analysis on how things have been going, and all of that. So without further ado, I'm going to explain a little bit about what table we are in currently, because that's going to influence what data we're going to be seeing over here on the right. In large part, what we're going to be looking at is based on the expected close date and the estimated value of a deal in our pipeline. So essentially each record here is a deal in our pipeline, and each of those records is at a certain stage, and it's also connected to an account, but more importantly there's an estimated value and there's an expected close date on that. And then furthermore, I added this month in here, that way we can see some more summarized data about this, and I'm going to show you all of that now and maybe how to get some better visualizations in here so that you can make better decisions. And I'm going to be building a few graphs in the process and going through some of this process with you. So over here on the right we have a chart open, and this chart, if we click the settings here, or if we just click the full screen, we'll be able to see it in a lot more detail. But I'm actually going to go ahead and click the settings. So there's 5 different types of charts that you can have over here. There's a bar chart, a line chart, scatter, pie, and donut. And so we can click through all of these very easily and see this data represented in different ways. But I really wanted to show and explain some of the differences in the different types of charts and graphs that you should be using. I guess I'll start off with a line graph. So a line graph, as you can see, this doesn't look very pretty, and that's because this data is not meant for a line graph. A line graph typically shows you a change over time. So a change over time would be like a number of, like, total amount of revenue, seeing that line grow, or like revenue compared to last year. So like, are we growing from last year? Are we slowing down from last year? Those changes over time is what you would want to show in like a line graph. Now a scatter plot, this is really good to see like correlations between things. So as you can see, like depending on the month, and like there's really no correlation between, let's see, the expected close date and the like total amount over here. So there's no correlation here. What you would be looking for in a scatter plot is a correlation to see like a positive trajectory or a negative trajectory. If all like the dots say we're in these, like this box, this box, this box, this box, this box, and this box, that'd be a pretty good correlation between these two variables, but there's not. It's actually there's none in that area, which is interesting. But that's what a scatter plot is. You're taking two variables and trying to see, okay, is there a correlation between these? So for us, maybe in this instance, we might say, like, associate a different weight to how far they made it in our CRM. So like stage 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, with 6 being closed -1 and stage 1 being proposal. And then the other part of it might be like their account value, or like just trying to see if there's a correlation between their account value and some other really monetary, or not necessarily numeric value in that case. A pie, this is really good. So whenever I see a pie chart, I think of like market share or like share. So like how much is this sharing the total. So how much, a good example for this would be like how many of our deals are in each share of the pipeline. So if we change this over here, so we're in the table opportunities, view all opportunities. So we would choose status over here to get really the whole pie chart. We could see which deals are in which place. And then for the value, maybe this is where you include the estimated value and you include a sum. So you can see our biggest one is probably this qualification one over here. So there's the most are in qualification, and you can see there's 22% there. So that's the basics of using a pie chart, is whether you want it to just be a count of the number of records in each stage for us right here, or whether you want it to be like a sum of a certain field in there, kind of like rolling up all of the fields in qualification stage, rolling up, summarizing all of the records that are in the close stage. So that's kind of the gist of a pie chart, is you're seeing the share of each piece of the pie in representation of the whole. Now a donut can be pretty similar. So if we go to the donut, we can see this is like the same exact thing, except and it gives us like the little hole in the middle. I haven't used donut quite a lot, so I could be getting something wrong in here, but I think this is pretty accurate. It's basically just the same thing as a pie. You represented the same data, the same percentages, just with whatever like you're summarizing or whatever the pie chart or the donut chart is representing is put in the middle. So those are the basic ones, but now I really wanted to get into the bar chart and the line chart. So I wanted to take you through a few simulations to get some of that data in here and represent it well in one of these charts. So if I come over here to bar chart, we can see something really, really cool. So I'm going to revert it back to how I had it before. So one second. All right, so all I had to change was I had the x-axis as the expected close date instead of the status. But really what this is showing you is it's saying for each close date in each month, what is the expected value of that deal. And so this should be for any deal in the pipeline. But really what a bar chart should be showing you is similar to the pie chart. You're going to be comparing different things. So for us, I think probably a lot better solution for this, instead of the x-axis being expected close date, if we did have it as the status like we just had before. And so if we have it as the status, I'm going to put myself in the middle. You can see this is the status, and it's also grouped by the different months that we're in. So 1 is from month 1, 2 is from month 2, but I don't think that's necessary in this example. So I'm going to scroll down and take off the group by, which is right here. So now this is just how many of our deals are in month over month, all totaled up, and there should be anything for this year. So I think the dates are only January 1st and on, but that's that. So maybe you wanted this chart, but you just want it for like the last 30 days or the last month or one specific month out of the year. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if you come over here to your views, and I think this is probably the simplest way to view it because you probably want to see this data in a grid anyways. So if you want to come over here and you want to add a new view over here, so this is going to be a specific month. So if you want to see a specific month, what you would do is you would just add a filter. So I have a month formula running. It's just literally a month formula. It's just the word month, a parentheses, whichever date you're trying to find the month of, and then in parentheses, it's off the expected close date. So we'll say where the month equals, we're in February here, so we'll go with 2. So now if we come back to our chart, we can come in here and change the view to month, and we can see just for February, we can see we haven't won any. There's also none in, I believe, the proposal stage, there is some in the proposal. There's none in stage 2. So whatever that means, we can infer based on that, but we can see now this is just for the month, and this will always change depending on like this filter up here. So if I change this to 3, now this is going to change the graph, and if I change this to 4, there's not going to be many in there. But if we also change this back to 1, we're going to get a lot more data in here again. So that is the basics of using the chart. This bar chart over here is really good to show those comparisons again. Similar to the pie, but just you have a lot more data in here without like hovering over the different pieces of the pie. You can see it based on the X and the Y axis, which really gives you some good data. So now what we might want to do is we might want to go to a line. But again, this isn't going to, especially this, because a line graph should be, in most cases, time series data. So time series data means that it's like changes over time. You can see the fluctuation. So instead of month over here on the, or instead of status over here on the x-axis, we do want to change this to some sort of time. But the difficulty here with the data that we have is it's not going to be ideal to be showing a change over time with just different projects at different times. So there's no real like correlations that we can show between the different dates and the other information. So I'm going to show you how to do that now. So if we come over here to that month right here, we can see month and expected close date. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to actually add a field to the right here, and I'm going to make it a link direct, and I'm actually going to go create a new table in here. So what I'm going to create a new table for is I'm going to show the months. That way we can roll up that data and show it over time. So we're going to roll up the estimated value over time, and I'll show you that right now. So these are going to be months. I know we have so many tables already in here, but we're just going to add these in here right here, and we're just going to press on that one, that formula we already have, and this one is just filtering it down to just one. So I'm going to take off this filter, and I'm going to find all of these. So I press on the first one, and then hold shift, hold command, and press the down button, and then press command C to copy it. I'm on a Mac, so just keep that in mind. And then just press command V in here. And so what that's going to do, if we now go to the months table, the new table I guess over here, we'll change this to months. So we have months 1 through 4 over here, and that is perfect. That's all we really need. But we're going to add a roll up of the different months. So if we add a roll up in here now, and this is going to be Rev, so we can, maybe we also might want to limit this to only like our closed deals. So if we change this to where the estimated value, so we want to be summing up the values of that. So but if we just sum the values up in here, we can create this, so now we can see this is all of the records for each month in here. But if we want to customize this yet again and limit this to only those deals that where the status is closed-1, we can do that very easily. And so now we can see all of these. So maybe just to show a little bit more of this data over time, I'll come in here and change this status from evaluation to closed-1. That way we can get some more data in here just for the example. And then this one we will do the same. So instead of qualification, we'll say closed-1. So there's one in each month with the expected close date in each month in that. So now if we come back to the chart, what I'm going to show you now is a change over time. So this is like our month over month. Where are we at? Are we going up in revenue each month for closed deals, or are we going down? So we'll maybe assume that we're in the future. We're in like May here. We're looking at the first third of the year. So for the X value that is down here, I always remember Y, because Y has a really long, Y is very long. So this is the Y axis. So that's how you do that. But now if we go to the line chart, we can see the x-axis is always the one on the bottom, and we can change the x-axis to, instead of status, we're actually going to have to change the table first. So if we change the table to months, what we can do is we can just pick the normal grid view, line chart, x-axis is the name, because that's the primary field. That's like each month is 1, 2, 3, 4. Y-axis is the revenue. So this is really simple for us to show. So we can see this is in millions, and this starts at 1 million. So we can see we actually have a downward trajectory, which if we go back, you will understand why that is. So it's essentially a month over month sloping downwards, but I'll show you how we can maybe edit that a little bit. So as you can see, in January we started off with 5.4, then we had 1.3, So we'll really just come in here and manipulate some of this data to maybe change the trajectory and see how doing this changes our data over time. So we'll change this one to close -1 and a few of these to close -1. So that's actually in 3. So if we come to 2, we'll come in here and change this one from negotiation to closed 1. And so now let's check this out maybe with one more. So we'll move this one from lost to 1. So now you can see we're still in a downward trajectory, but it's not quite as bad. So maybe month 4, maybe we're actually in month 3 right now. We can actually still have some room to make up and get month 4 back up. But this is really, the line chart is the change over time. The bar chart is really comparing where you're at in different categories, as well as the pie chart, because the pie and the donut, again, those represent like a share. But bar is really good to have like the side by sides, so we can see like month 1 and month 2 were very similar. But the line, really try to think about how you can represent some time series data in here. I know these weren't the greatest examples, but if you can represent a change over time, you're going to be doing great with a line chart. And then again, scatter, and that's where you're showing the correlation between 2 different variables, trying to see if there's like as X increases, does Y increase at the same amount? Or is there like what's your scale there? What's your Y equals MX plus B? Try to find that out with the scatter. And then we went through all of these in the video, but I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you want some of these dashboards, some of these charts set up for you and your business, you can check out the link in the description and request a consultation from me or someone on my team. But now, since we're here in the video, if you enjoyed this video, then you'll probably enjoy learning all about Airtable automation. So if you want to do an introduction to Airtable automations, you can go check out that end screen right there and learn all about Airtable automations. It'll be an introductory dive into Airtable automation. So I highly encourage you to go check that out right there. And I hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.